Human rights lawyer Monday Ubani joins us now to share his thoughts on this development. Many thanks for joining us on TVC News at 10. 4 years after Sambo Dasuki has been released, and just about 4 months, Omoyele Sowore has also been released. Many people are asking, why now?
Well, I think if you ask, I will start with this way, that 98% of Nigerians, I'm generous with these statistics, are clearly happy with what had happened today. What the government has done is to comply with the orders of the court, ordering the release of these two persons, which hitherto has been made by the court, and they complied with the conditions of bail. But the DSS decided to keep them in detention, despite the orders of the court. But today there has been a due compliance with this order, and I think that Nigerians are happy with what has happened today.
All right, and before this happened, there was so much public outcry about this detention. Sambo Dasuki before now, and even Omoyele Sowore protest almost on a daily basis, and some of them even degenerate into some kind of face-off. So what is the next step now?
Well, I think the government is of the opinion that they have credible charges against this duo, and one would expect that they should expedite action in the trial process. And I'm very happy that any person that is accused of any crime, the law in the land still presumes that person to be innocent, and that applies to both of them. And that has been our, our opposition to what has taken place, where you keep them in an indefinite detention without the pronouncement of the court. Anyone that is accused of crime, no matter how grave the crime is, the law presumes that person to be innocent. And then what you should rather do, if the court has ordered that that person should be released on bail, is to start your trial process and produce the evidence you have against that individual, and let the court be in a better position to make a pronouncement after the entire process has ended, and of course you approve your case beyond reasonable doubt. But keeping people that have not actually been convicted in an indefinite detention is clearly not allowed, is unlawful, cannot be allowed in democracy.
One other case that comes to mind when you talk about human rights and court orders and all is the case of the Shiite leader, Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, who is still in custody at this time. And now the case is even between him and the Kaduna state government. What do you say about his continual detention?
I think that the judiciary must live up to expectation. As I said earlier, no matter the gravity of an offense somebody is alleged to have committed, if there are certain facts that should allow that individual to be on bail, pending the time the court now will evaluate the evidence, and if that person is found to be liable or guilty, the court will now go ahead to convict, just as what has happened recently with a particular governor that was convicted after a trial process. It reminds me of El-Zakzaky, also remind you of Abba Jalingo, and several others who are languishing in detention when the court has not made any pronouncement as to their guilt. So we are insisting that if we are practicing democracy, we should allow the rule of law to actually prevail. We must comply with court orders. If the court has made a pronouncement after evaluating the national security, which is always the argument, and evaluating the individual right, and the court makes a pronouncement that this person should be allowed to go home, there is no threat to national security, the court order must be obeyed. So what has happened today, and it's better we put it in proper perspective, the federal government did not order the release of Sowore or Dasuki. What the federal government did today was to comply with the orders of the court. Even though it is belated, it's better late than never. They did not order because it was not administrative bail. The court had already ordered their release, and they have complied with the conditions of bail. So what they have just done today is to comply with the orders of the court, even though they have been in breach over these months. So that is actually what happened. So we must put it in proper perspective. The federal government couldn't have ordered their release. They only comply with the orders of the court. And
very quickly, do you consider this to shift perceptions about Nigerian government and human rights, especially following the outcry from people across the world?
Yeah, it will give them a good rating, and it's a very good gift, for Christmas, for some of the family of Sowore and that of Dasuki. Is the best gift ever. And we have insisted that the government must always make Nigerians to be happy. And what they have done today is clearly commendable. They must continue in this. They should not depart from the path of following the rule of law. It's very important.
Human rights lawyer Monday Ubani, thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10.
My pleasure.